Yo, people always ask me what kind of frames I'm rocking. I've been rocking Caddis for a couple years. They make amazing progressive readers, which I wear. Also, they make sunglass readers, anti-glare, anti-smudge coating, anti-scratch, and anti-aging. That's why I look mad young when I wear them. I'm just kidding. But they make amazing frames. Caddis, so stoked to have you guys part of the podcast. You can go to caddislife.com/Toby10 and get $10 off your first purchase. Stoked. Thank you, Caddis. Welcome to the fam. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst, stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Check. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. I got my brother from another mother next to me today, Mr. Derek Green.
Hi, Toby.
And last night he saw my bowling skills, and I think he was really impressed.
They were good, better than I imagined. Let's just put it that way.
Who got the winning score of the first game?
You did, by 1 point.
146.
Very nice.
Thank you, man.
Derek
I'd never seen a competitive side to Derek in my life.
I mean, I have a lot of injuries, so it was really difficult for me to get back into it, but
I know.
I see you.
But all right, you see, we're going to play again. It's not
I hope
over.
so, man. I love it.
And then in my kitchen, very psyched to have her here. It's been a really long time since we even talked or connected. We keep in touch through text. She moved away, et cetera, et cetera. Welcome to the podcast, Miss Carah Faye.
Hi.
Welcome, girl. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I'm so stoked to be here.
I know it's been a long time.
Way too long.
I was trying to figure out how we even met. Or
yeah,
when
I was
going to
ask, how do you guys know
My
each
ex.
other?
Oh, your ex. That's right.
Yeah. Supergrass,
Sweden. Okay. But long time ago.
Where was it? What was happening? What was the scenario?
You were.
Jesus, Derek. Go ahead.
I think you wanted to interview me about being straight edge.
Yeah.
That was how.
For my Morse code thing I was trying to put together.
Okay.
Correct.
That was how we first hung out.
Yes.
And then I started babysitting Max every once in a while.
Oh my God, that's right.
Wow, you're babysitting.
Yeah, I
He
loved.
might have been one of his first crushes.
He was probably 6 or 7, and we were
That is so right. Wow.
That's
crazy.
Cool. Wow.
And then Max was in the video too.
Been fam ever since. Yep, that's right.
Wow. And then we got tattooed. You got the OLLC. We got the tats at
Yep.
Dan's.
Got my
Sick.
LA tattoo.
Yes. Shout out to Dan Smith.
Shout out.
So how are you? You're a mom now.
I'm a mom.
That's crazy.
I'm so good. Life is amazing. I cannot complain. I'm just happy.
Good. I'm happy for you. And you're Cali born and bred, right? Santa Barbara?
Yeah, born in Santa Barbara, grew up in Newbury Park, Thousand Oaks, and just sort of moved south through my life, and then went to the south where I live now.
Yeah.
Right outside of Atlanta.
And you like it out there?
I love it. It's different. It's total vibe change, pace change, but I really love it. The community we found. I miss it here, but...
It's your first time living outside of California?
I lived in Sweden. I toured for a long time.
That's right. She was in Sweden for a while, yeah.
And I lived in Sweden for 3 years.
Oh, wow. Where in Sweden?
I Vänersborg.
Wow.
Utanför.
Do you know that, Derek?
I've never heard of it. Where?
Vänersborg. So there's one massive lake, kind of in the southwest, and that's Lake Vänern.
Yeah.
So it's Vänersborg. Pretty 45 minutes outside of Gothenburg.
Okay.
So.
All right.
And then we also lived in Gothenburg for a little bit, but mostly in Vänersborg.
Was that a big culture shock moving there?
Dude, it was so dope. The culture.
Yeah.
You leave from here to there, right?
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy because I also when I moved there, it was with the Daniel Larson crew.
Daniel the Swede, shout Daniel.
Yeah, and obviously my ex. That's why I was there for.
Yeah.
But it was like moving in the same scene in a different country kind of vibe.
And your ex is Swedish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just kind of oh, this is easy, and the people there are just so warm, and it's crazy because on Twitter right now it's trending that Swedish people don't feed strangers, and it's a thing, and that's not something I experienced, so I almost wanted to be this is not true, and
what do you mean don't feed
I don't know that on Twitter people are
wow,
are talking about how it's a thing for Swedish people, they won't feed strangers, and it's I guess I never went in someone's house where I was a stranger, but it was, I was like, that makes no sense to me.
That's strange.
Twitters.
I don't know.
I'm not liking Twitters.
And and Sweden has like long, like dark days in the winter, right? Like it gets
it's
dark.
like 7 months of winter.
Wow.
Literally.
Man,
And then there's like 1 month that's like LA summer. And everyone just turns into leather. Like nobody works. They just sit in the sun.
Yeah.
And how's your Swedish? Did you pick up any Swedish?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. I don't get to practice it a lot, but
I wouldn't think so.
I went to Oslo a few
Georgia.
years back, and it was crazy. It was like it all came back.
Talk.
I never really talk.
One word.
Yes. I brought my mom there once, and I had taught her talk. And we were at the Continental Breakfast for the hotel, and she goes, the lady comes up and brings at the Continental Breakfast there are insane. Like it's not like they are here.
Yeah.
It's full spread, and the lady comes up to ask for like drinks or anything, or at the end of the meal, and my mom's like, "I got this." She makes this big dramatic thing, and she goes, "Taco," and like 20 people erupted because this like super overly confident American woman had basically screamed taco.
It's a tough language. I mean, it's really, really, really difficult. And I kept making fun. Anytime I've ever been there, I just keep thinking Swedish chef. Of course, that comes to any American's mind. And anytime I did that to our producer who was Swedish, he would just say like, "We don't sound like this."
Yeah, it's almost more Norwegian the way.
Yeah, that's the Swedish chef though.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's still funny to me though. I just
we're not making fun of Swedish people.
No,
we love
not
Swedish
at all.
people.
Shout out to Dennis and Refuse. Love
I mean,
that
a
band.
little
Good
bit,
human.
but I mean, it's okay. They can take a joke.
And the sounds too. The sounds. Trying to get bands from there.
We love you, Dennis. We love the sounds.
Yeah.
Abananda, we love you all.
Abananda, that's right.
Sweden is insane rhythm going on there. What is up with their music capabilities?
Oh my God,
There's
the
so
Haunted, like some of these
good
bands
music.
are coming out of there.
And then there's a writing group to do like all like the Britney songs, right? They're from Sweden, right?
They're
forgot what they're
one of the
called.
biggest music exports in the world.
Okay.
That's the craziest thing for anyone not to understand the impact that Sweden has had musically on the entire world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not what I'm here to talk about, but I'm
I'm sorry.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
no,
that's,
But there's a lot of songwriters. Yeah, like they write so
A
many
lot.
big
It's
songs
huge.
from there.
It's huge.
Do you think it's because it is like stuck inside for that long ass winter and is writing music? I don't
a
know.
huge part of
Possibly.
it. It's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay.
Education too.
But also
Yeah.
the government, if you're like a
Oh, yeah, they
16-year-old
support you.
kid and you want a band, they'll buy you equipment, buy you a lockout. I mean, I don't know if they still do, but this is like what that generation grew up with. Here's a lockout. You rehearse, you be a band. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I felt like I was living in the Stone Age, like going there. Like I felt like so primitive. You just, I mean, just
100%.
society in general, just thinking, they're very forward thinking.
Yeah.
They're really a step ahead.
Their
you know.
infrastructure even is just amazing.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Even how they handled the lockdown and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Okay, back to you now. Okay, so Santa Barbara growing up. So you have siblings, obviously, right?
I have 2. I'm the oldest of 3 girls.
Okay.
So I have 2 sisters.
Are they into music as well?
I
Like
mean,
you are? Like,
they love music,
but they don't do. I mean,
they don't do music. No.
Okay. Yeah, and so what was like your earliest exposure to music and falling in love with it?
Probably my grandpa. He captain in the Air Force, World War II, and he had like an Air Force band called the Nightingales. He was kind of like a crooner.
Yeah. I was.
It's on my notes. It's on my notes. The Nightingales. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, true.
Talk about Grandpa. Let's go.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, so many of my tattoos. I have his B-17 bombers on my calves. I have like the straight and level. That's how he signed.
His name was
everything.
Arnold.
Arnold Moselle.
Yes.
He was just awesome. Huge. Probably one of my biggest family influences. He died suddenly, heart attack when I was like 15, and that rocked me. He went from like being just super healthy to gone that day. Crazy.
So he was a big inspiration to you.
Super big inspiration. And then you're just like a kid. You don't really know. I've sung professionally since I was 6 years old. So, but it was a lot of like, here, sing. And then a hero comes along. It's like that. You're like 7 years old. You're like, okay, I'll sing this. But you're like imitating, you're just imitating. And, which is a whole nother story of like finding what my voice was later in life. Did a lot of like choral stuff. And then
fresh chances
cousin,
up for America.
My cousin came and lived with us, like 6th, 7th grade, and he showed me Boyz II Men, and I was like, oh yeah. And he showed me Limp Bizkit, and I said, oh no.
Shout out to Fred, we love you.
Yeah, shout out to Fred. But when I was a kid, I was like, I don't fuck with Limp Bizkit. Like
I would have picked Boyz II Men too, probably back then.
Yeah, and Mac 10.
Don't say it on the mic.
Put that on me, man.
Yeah. So he got me into like Mac 10 and
shit,
Mac 10 and Boyz II Men, and we would do like the pose, like the iconic Mac 10 pose, like. Anyways,
Mac 10 and Boyz II Men.
Yeah, really random. But I was like young, and But that was also like I was like 5th grade. It was like been spending most our lives. Like that was like, what are you doing?
Gangsta's Paradise.
But like that's what we listened to. I'm just speaking my truth.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I love that.
Absolutely.
So ever since you were that young, you want to do music? Throughout school, everything.
I always knew it's what I wanted to do, and then high school ended. And when you're from Southern California, you're really like I was hanging out with all the bands at that point, but I didn't like singing in bands. I remember thinking to myself, what am I going to do? Start a No Doubt? Like that sounded so lame to me. Literally.
What year did you graduate high school?
2002.
2002.
So I remember thinking like,
don't try to guess your age, man. Let's keep it moving. Let's go.
So
it's like mathematics.
But that didn't sound fun at all to me. So I was going to go to New York, so I go to New York because I'm going to take a tour of Juilliard and see if that's what I want to do. Like maybe I'll be a classical singer and just.
That's cool.
I genuinely thought that's what I was going to do. So I go to New York, and it was on my trip at like the Grove Street station in New Jersey when I got a call from the guys in Shine Toe Guns. Do you want to be in the band? And it's one of those like,
wow, the
rest is history.
Wow. Were you in the band before that at the time?
No. I was singing some like demos for them at that point.
Wow.
But it was unrelated to the band. And then.
How did you hear about them?
About who? Meet the guys in the band.
Yeah.
How did they hear about you?
Yeah.
Well, I was introduced to them through like, I was going to like LA clubs, dead sober, just making fun of people dancing since I was like 17. Mm-hmm. And no, literally like electro clubs. That's what we did. We went and we just imitated the people dancing, but we were dead sober. We were so dumb. Kind of met them through that, and I was singing demos like, we want to pitch this song to Pink or whatever. Jeremy and Shine Toe Guns was in a really bad publishing deal where we had to turn in like 12 songs a month. And anyone it's insane. Like anyone who understands is like, that's unheard. It's not possible. Yeah. So I was just singing the demos, and I thought I was like, I thought I was pretty hot getting like $100 a track, like singing these demos. I was like, I made it. We good. We good. And then somewhere when I went to New York, they were like, no, you gotta stay here. We want you to sing in the band. And at that point, they had tried out some other girls, but Shine Toe Guns was still just kind of like and it's stupid because even on the Wikipedia, like it says there was another girl, like there really wasn't. Like there was
Wikipedia sucks.
It's all fucked. I know that from this pod how fucked up it is. Yeah,
it sucks.
Like I don't care what everybody says. Like I was there from the beginning.
Okay.
So
the OG.
Yeah.
And that's the first band you've been on stage with, everything, right? Performing with a full band, like.
Well, like band, yeah. But like definitely not my first performance. But
yeah.
But it's funny because that was my first like, what are you gonna do? Kind of. I remember our first show. They put me in like a Jeremy Scott dress, and like I was like, this is gonna be weird, guys, and but. So it's like an electro pop band, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever talked about this. It's like an electro pop band, and here we're gonna play our first show. And we rehearsed, but not like crazy. So I get up there to perform, and just out the gate, song starts, and I just go into like hardcore mode. I'm like, you sing this line, like they don't know my shit, but I'm like
giving the mic out.
Yeah, but like I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like I want to connect. That was what I was drawn to. In the hardcore scene, it was just like this camaraderie of like playing off of each other.
Totally.
And so I just go for it. I'm out of breath, like verse 1, and the entire like. Thank God there's not video from like that early on because it was just terrible. But yeah, and I never really slowed down. Like that was always my vibe.
That's amazing. And then so you started going to hardcore and punk shows at an early age too as well?
Yeah, like freshman, sophomore year.
Yeah.
And Yeah, that was.
Was there like a big scene in Santa Barbara, or were you out of
no?
there by then?
So this is Thousand Oaks. This is closer
oh yeah,
to here.
it's way different. Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
spending half my time in Orange County, like throwdown shows and stuff
Ooh,
like that.
okay.
Yeah,
okay,
like that's more so what I was doing at the time.
And then did you kind of like me, where like you weren't partying, and then you found out about straight edge? You're like, okay, that's kind of what I am already.
Yeah. So I was already, that was already kind of where I was. I knew I had an addictive personality from a kid.
Your parents or your siblings, were they like, drinking at home?
Everybody in my extended family, both of my uncles, both of my mom's brothers passed away. And when the second one did, my grandmother literally looked at me and she was like, promise me you'll never drink. And I was like 7 years old. I think any kid would have said, yeah, of course. Of course. But I meant it. And I went all through high school. Like, I was a designated driver. Like, I never felt tempted, anything like that. Like, I literally was just like, no, I don't need it, because I know. And, this is like a whole nother thing. Like, it manifested in other ways, my addictive personality.
Yeah.
In other problems. But I knew better, because I knew that if I tried something and I liked it, I would be the person in a gutter because they tried heroin. I knew it about myself. There is no glass of wine with dinner. I don't have that luxury button, and it sucks, but that's me. I know better, and I would be the typical like straight edge person, like one off the deep end. Yeah. Some of us are just like that.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I have addictive personality in other ways. That's probably if I did do drugs, I'd probably be over the, right? You know what I mean?
It'd be terrifying if you did drugs. Jesus Christ.
Even like weed?
Even weed.
Okay. I'm never going to do it, obviously, but like, yeah, it'd be interesting. I would never want to see myself on that.
Neither would
I wouldn't be myself.
You wouldn't be yourself at all.
Okay.
Definitely at this point, it would just be kind of pointless to do any of those things. Who is this?
Did you ever want to try anything throughout your life?
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally honest about that. I would love to try mushrooms, straight up. Mushrooms, like I'm just being super real right now.
Yeah, keep it real.
Mushrooms, like in a safe environment, I'd love to try that. I think that I would be super silly on weed. I don't think alcohol in any circumstance would be good for me, at all. I've never really felt tempted for that. But
anything else, yeah.
Weed I would try, but mushrooms, I'm like, that sounds, because it's hard to get addicted to mushrooms. It's more like it's an experience.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But
do you like mushrooms, like regular mushrooms eating?
Yes, actually.
I fucking despise them, so I would never try. I hate mushrooms. I'm saying.
Does. I think it's the preparation of the mushrooms that he despises, depending on how they're made. Is it like
they're slimy?
Yes, the texture.
I get it. I personally like it, but
like if he doesn't know, if Toby doesn't know that's in there and it's done in a really good way,
don't sneak up on me.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm that way with onions a lot of times. I'm like, they have to be super cooked for me.
So yeah, I wouldn't even do a regular mushroom, let alone one that made me fucked up.
Mushrooms are definitely not addictive. I mean, it's something that, like, for example, the last time I did was probably 6 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, the time span of just like, all right, environment, everything, timing. It's just
where you are.
It's definitely nothing, and you can't go on day-to-day partying on mushrooms because it'll be less and less and less
100%.
and less. The effect.
Yeah.
So it's it's kind of like a natural, like, all right, it's just gonna die out.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Right.
So where were you in your life when you got that call to be in Shiny Toy Guns? Obviously, you're in New York. You might be checking out Juilliard, but were you working? Like, what was? You had a regular job then? Like, what were you doing?
I don't think so. Okay. Honestly, like, it was always music for me. I had like the Jamba Juice jobs and stuff like that, just to like figure it out. But like, it was always music. Like. Always professionally singing since, like I said, since I was like 6.
Damn.
So got to sing for like Ronald Reagan. Like that's like what I did when I was a kid. Yeah, that Fresh Chances for America group. Like that's what we did. Like, okay. This land is your land. No, that was the vibe. Like I still remember the movements. That was what
Ronald
I did.
Reagan, holy shit.
And it was
you traveled around and stuff, and
mostly in California. But remember Amway?
Yes.
Scam. So we would perform for the Diamonds, which were the people who had made it to millionaires. They were at the top. So they'd have like these big diamond conventions in at the Irvine Center, and we'd go perform for them.
Wow,
that's such an insane world.
And then the Ronald Reagan Library in Simi Valley, we'd perform there a lot. So
that's amazing. So you're in New York, you get the call, and then what? You're just like, fuck it, I'm just going to join this band. I'm going to go back and just do it?
Well, I'm sorry, did you get to meet Ronnie?
Yeah, I met him and I met his wife a few
Nancy.
times. Met Nancy a few times. Yeah.
Were they? Oh my God!
Did you like Ronald Reagan back then?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
All the punk songs were all against Ronald Reagan too.
Of course, man. That was the turning period of a lot.
Yeah, I was like
different
kid.
things.
I didn't know any better. I was just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it would be cool to meet him. I don't like his politics.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I'm like 6 and I do know, and I like kick him. I'm like,
right? It's like, Ronald, you suck.
no.
Singing some suicidal lyrics to him.
No, it wouldn't be that cool to meet him, but I'd just be like, man, you were.
But to hear her say she sang for Ronald Reagan is fucking pretty amazing, actually.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
sing for any like president is
that's
wow.
You think Sepultura
Incredible.
would go perform for somebody like they'll sing a song for Biden or something?
Never know. For Biden, really? Come on now. Come on now. Come on.
By special request of Biden.
Sepultura.
President Biden, we're gonna do a little something for you.
Chaos AD at the White House.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Shiny Toy Guns. So that just starts for you. That's just.
So
Did they already have songs written that you would started singing? They had
a
Okay.
few, and then the rest were written. I didn't really write on the first album, but like
Okay.
you can hear how I was like the muse for 3 or 4 that were written
Okay.
after I joined. Like the lyrics are basically from my perspective. Like,
yeah.
one of the lyrics is "swords beneath," because I have swords on my stomach. Swords beneath my clean dress, and a lot of people think it's sores, and it's not. Hey, I'm telling you, these are the grievings of my life. Like the few things that.
Wouldn't that be a really personal song to
It'd be
write?
extremely personal on it.
Yeah, but
Especially if you, Okay.
Jeremy in Shine Guns has a real knack for writing from the female perspective.
Okay.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, and then we had so in the beginning of Shine Guns, we had no management, no label, anything like that. So we all we're of an age where we're just like, wait, we can get some credit cards, we can max them out, we can steal some U-Hauls, we can just do what we got to do, and just all go into debt, and we that's what we did.
Okay.
We would tour the U.S. and we would literally just tell kids like, we'll see you in 30 days, like we'll be back, and it's one of those
cycle just going
every
nonstop.
time we came back it would be 20 kids, 50 kids, 100 kids, just more every time, and these were MySpace days, so we were kind of pioneers in self-promotion on MySpace. Jeremy and I would get to like St. Louis, and you could search by city, and anyone who looked like they scene kid that might want to come would be like, hey, you don't know us, but we would literally cold reach out to kids in the city.
Wow.
Every time we got just
through
like
MySpace, through that.
And then we got up to like 300,000 or 400,000 followers on MySpace, and that's when we started getting label interest, and we were about to sign a deal.
Still no management, right?
No, we ended up getting management somewhere along there.
Okay.
And Jim Welch, and
I remember Jim Welch by the name,
yeah, it's crazy because like later I found out he was like super integral to bringing like overseas hardcore bands here.
That's probably where I know it from.
It's crazy, and I didn't know that. But he managed a DJ named Tommy Sunshine that we played with a few times. So, anyways, so then labels start, that's how music works even to this day. Like they kind of want to see you do it on your own. They're like, oh, we just put the machine behind it.
Totally.
You know? So we were able to pull that off. And then K-Rock out here just started, like literally ripped La Disco off of our MySpace page and started playing it.
That's pretty amazing, man.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about K-Rock, especially living in California, realizing how they support local so much more. The East Coast didn't have that in K-Rock in New York. No. They might play like a local bigger band from New York, but out here I see so much love for like new bands from K-Rock. Just being here for like 20 years, just listening to the radio, you know what I mean? Right. It wasn't like that in New York. No, there might be like a specialty show on Sunday nights.
It was only listening to college radio. Like
back
then,
like that was their pride. K-Rock really loved
breaking bands,
being the one that broke them, that found them and discovered and broke them.
I think they did that for No Doubt, to be honest. They started playing their earlier stuff out here too, like a lot of those bands.
I bet,
yeah.
So then that's from that song's off the first record?
Yeah, and our first single was gonna be You Are the One, which is at least a duet, so we could introduce the group with 2 singers. But and then we were like, well, I guess we're gonna go with La Disco.
Wow.
Yeah. Music is so much about timing, you know, because that was like right when the world, it doesn't matter how good your music is. Right. Unfortunately, it's does the world at this moment in time want it? Because you can be.
Yeah. You're absolutely right about that.
And Jeremy, you know, gets the credit for this. He was super influenced by what was happening in the UK electro scene. And he was infusing that as much as he could into what we were doing. And America just decided, all right, we want some keyboards. And we were on the front of that wave.
That's amazing.
We got lucky.
Yeah. So what type of bands would you guys play with?
The sounds we played with a lot. Yeah, that was like, you know, and it was like that scene was like the Rapture, the Faint. Okay.
Just a different world.
A totally different world. And it's crazy because it wasn't my world.
Yeah.
You know,
I
was gonna ask, straight up, I remember in the studio as we're like making music, having like been sitting on the couch in the back and having Jeremy turn around and be like, what do you think? And I'm just like, the kick, it's just, I didn't know how to say 4 on the floor yet. And but it was driving me crazy. And like, because I didn't understand how important that was.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know the term 4 on the floor, but I was just like, the kick is just so constant, you know, I was just, he's like, don't worry about it. You know, just like, you know, like, he would always listen to me with like harmonies and, you know, writing stuff, but like he's like, nah, I got that.
What type of bands did those guys idolize? Like, what was like
That's
the classics in electronic music for them? Like, these guys were the pioneers for us.
There was a lot of we all loved Depeche Mode.
Okay.
Oh man, did we love Depeche Mode. And like songwriting wise, because we've always prided ourselves on like real songwriting, like that, like melodic love songs. A lot of Peter Gabriel.
Nice.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Excellent.
Was super influential to Shiny Toy Guns. Even like Beach Boys and stuff.
Wow.
Melody wise, like, it's great. There was a lot of like 80s influence, but I would say like kind of Depeche Mode, and then Chad and Jeremy were from Oklahoma, and so there was like the Flaming Lips. Like there was like there was a scene. There's a little thing going on in Oklahoma. It's cool.
I would say Your Eyes, one of the most greatest songs written, Peter Gabriel.
Oh yeah.
Incredible song. Mm-hmm. Like, it still makes me emo when I hear it.
I'm a big fan of even stuff like Big Time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Big
Time. I love the lyrics. The lyrics.
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So We Are Pilots. That's the first record?
Yeah, and
that was 2006.
So we get signed to Motown, which was an interesting fit for us.
That is super random.
You know, there was a little bidding war. I think it came down to like Motown and Sony. We went with Motown because they were just such champions, and Bruce Carbone. So this has been a lesson for me to this day. Bruce Carbone, who was like our guy there, I think he's like president or head of A&R. It was basically us and Lil Wayne, and this is just, if you have someone who's a champion for you, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter. You know, a lot of the labels can do the same thing, but you need your champion, and we were just his babies. He loved us, and Sylvia Rhone there really rooted for us, and we got Grammy nominated on our freshman album.
It's crazy, man.
That they really killed it for us. So Motown, like, and honestly, like growing up on like Boyz II Men, I was like, dude, I made it. Like, we did it.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. What other kind of alternative bands did they have? Motown.
I don't think they did.
Wow, that's
I can't
cool.
think of any.
Yeah.
So really believed in you, took a chance, and
like,
wow.
It was
and
awesome.
So that was like 2007, the Grammy stuff, right?
Yep.
Did you guys go to the Grammy Awards?
Yep. It was the 50th, so it was pretty big.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a wild time.
And who won it in that category?
Who won? I want to say it was like Chemical Brothers.
Okay.
I want to say it was like just a bigger name, kind of thing. Had put out an album that year, and there was a bunch of controversy because it was like, I mean, we were like, if you come see one of our shows, it's a rock show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like we go off.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people that it was best electronic album.
Right.
So there's a lot of people like, oh, this should be in like, you know, the rock category or whatever. But that's like what Mikey and I brought to the band, you know, where that's what makes a good band. Like, it really just is. Like, when you have this fusion, like, you can have someone who's like the heart of it, but like Shine Toy Guns really was like a summation of four.
Yeah.
Of course.
People that like made a thing.
And you had your hardcore punk energy on stage, like going off.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you like how happy it would make me. Like after you go to the merch table and there's like guys that want to like take like X'd up pictures with you and like and I'm thinking to myself, this is a Shiny Toy Gun show, but I'm so like this is sick. Like just that we were accepted, you know, it was just cool.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I think that just comes down to the songwriting. You know, that it was real. It wasn't just like I'm super happy to be a part of that band.
And so you were in there for like 4 years, like 2004 to 2008.
Yeah, till like
you guys were
2000 nonstop. We toured the same album, so we had put the album out ourselves. When we were doing all that touring, we had printed like 2,000-3,000 copies. So we sell all those. We do another version of it. So when the major label one came out, it was technically the third version of the album.
Wow, dude.
So the label put us in the studio with a producer named Mark Saunders, who had done like Cyndi Lauper and what else did he do?
I mean, that's good enough to me, man. Cyndi Lauper, that's amazing.
Yeah, I love Cyndi.
I know.
The sweetness that I'm thinking of. What?
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo Stance.
Buffalo Stance.
Yeah, I was
Nina
like,
Cherry.
Yeah.
Wow,
He had done that. So we were like, yeah.
Great song.
So we like rejudged the album with him.
Excellent.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened to Nina Cherry, man? That song was a banger, bro. Buffalo Stance.
I love it.
It's still a great song.
I know he's the song she had after that, but like, I think she was related to somebody or...
yeah.
It's so stupid. I was going to say Buck Cherry. That's a band. But there's Nina Cherry. She was related to somebody else. You can look it up. I swear to God.
Eagle
really?
Eye Cherry.
Yeah, what?
Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye Cherry. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Really?
Boom.
Yeah.
Huh.
D-Block.
Without my Google.
Thanks for the assist, D-Block.
I didn't need Googles for this. It's right over on the counter.
Oh, yeah. That's another song. That's after you guys got back together, though. But so when the band breaks up, that's like 2008-ish?
Yeah. So, you know, we have all these crazy moments. We played Kanye's birthday party and we're straight dude, that's when...
How old was he? When was that? Like, what year?
This is like, I want to... like.
What album did he have out then, you remember?
I'm trying to think of what era it was because it was like 2007. You can look up his... he threw a birthday party like... he got the Louis Vuitton store in New York. And it was like...
Jesus.
Us and John Legend.
Wow.
To this day... I do not know why we were asked to do
yeah,
this.
I was just going to ask, like, how...
That's fucking amazing.
And I had my dog on the road, and, like, there's a picture of me on the red carpet, like, with my dog and Kanye. It's crazy.
Holy shit. That's incredible. So you're doing crazy random shows like that, too? So
we're doing, like, all this, like, crazy stuff that you don't even... We were so in the thick of it and on the road that, like, we didn't even, like, feel the success. I don't know how else to explain that, but, like, when I look back, like, we didn't enjoy it. We were just in it, like, just
grinding,
trying to keep the machine going. So then we do this, like, final tour, and we kind of know, like, it's time.
You guys just burnt.
We're so burnt, and there is a lot of tension in the band. But so there's just, like, a lot of... And when on the road with the sounds, Maya literally said, you guys are going to break up.
Wow.
You guys are grinding too hard and you're not taking care of your friendships. She's like, it's going to happen.
Mm.
And I just remember thinking, like, whatever, you know. I love them, but I was like, I just didn't believe it.
Yeah, you in your own fucking, Yeah.
And then, so I was dating our front of house guy at the time. And I, been on the road for so many years.
Right.
And we were like, let's go to Sweden for a couple weeks. And I talked to Jeremy. I was like, hey, is this cool? Can I go to Sweden for a couple weeks? And he's like, yeah, we're going to go back to Oklahoma.
Oh, I remember the story. Okay, go ahead.
I don't want to get too deep in it because
it
sounds like it's hashing up old stuff. But I basically went to Sweden. And while I was there, I got a call from the manager. Hey, Jeremy and Chad want to talk. And they proceeded to tell me that Shiny Toy Guns was over. Not that I was dropped, but Shiny Toy Guns was over.
Wow.
And, if you need any help, let us know. And I... just bawling, like, because it's just like it's all I've known in my adult life. We worked really hard for it, and they just basically said we're not happy, and that was really hard. It's like your brothers. Even if you fight with them, they're still like love forever. Yeah. And just confusion and what am I gonna do? And I went back inside, and for some reason, the first thing I wanted to do was check our MySpace page. Like, surely they haven't said anything, right? MySpace.com/Shiny Toy Guns, and it was all HTML, so you could change it over all at once. It was all changed. Every mention of me had been taken off of everything. They had tried to erase me.
So you never got to talk to your bandmates directly?
No. So that call I did. The manager was like, hey, you want to talk to him?
Okay.
So I remember sending Jeremy an email. It just said, Shiny Toy Gun's going on without me. I'm broken. That's all I could say.
Yeah.
His Shiny Toy Gun's going on without me. I'm broken. And then I proceeded to watch them, introduce the new girl and put out an album without me.
That's right.
And they, it's crazy because like for all of that, there was a lot of just like miscommunication, and they've like explained to me stuff that like they were feeling at that time and whatever. And I think at the end of the day, none of that should have happened. But they put out an album called Season of Poison, and there's a lot of darkness on that album that I don't identify with, and I kind of do feel like the universe kind of saved me from being a part of some of that darker stuff.
Yeah.
That wasn't me,
Yeah.
And it was also a time where I really wanted to be. I wasn't involved with the writing in the first record, but I wanted to be, so.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that throughout that whole period with the other singer, like they were calling me, like crying, and they
reaching out and stuff. Yeah.
Before they released their album that was mastered, they sent it to me and said, we want to redo it. Like we don't want to do this.
Yeah.
They were already scared. And at that point, like I was just too broken.
Yeah.
You're
still in Sweden, right? Yeah.
I was still in Sweden. That's when for the first time I experienced anxiety, like real, like anytime anyone would bring it up, just start shaking.
Wow.
Like, and I didn't even like know what it was before then. Anyways, so, they eventually sent me an email like, hey, we want to come to Sweden.
It's crazy email.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we want to come to Sweden. And I was like, hey, like I'm a big forgiveness person. Like I don't hold on to grudges. It's not good for you.
No, I love that.
So I was just like, all's forgiven. Like I love you guys, but like don't bother coming here. Like it's not like you're going to convince me to be back in the band. And they sent me their flight itinerary. So Jeremy just shows up, and it's like he and Mikey come, and it's like a day hasn't passed. It's like instant. I mean, when I say these are my brothers, like no matter what we've been through more on the good side. Like I love them, and it was like a day hasn't passed, and I remember my head just being like, damn it, like it just feels so good to see them. Like I just miss them.
How long had it been like since you getting that email and then that put the record out? Like was it a couple of years
for putting the
like
third
how long
album out?
Like how long been like the break from you being in the band?
Like 2 years.
Okay,
something like that.
That's a long time too, though. Yeah.
So they fly out, and I say no. We have a great time, but I say no. Like it's just too hard to imagine going back. And at its core, I had already mourned. Yeah. I had already been like, you chose somebody else. And for me, like even in a relationship, if I was dating someone and I felt like they didn't want me, I wasn't fighting for it.
Yeah.
Like
where do you think the disconnect happened? I mean, this was something that came out of nowhere. Was it something that you were feeling as it was going on? Like
for them to actually choose to go. Well, I think it just came down to looking for someone to blame.
Okay.
And and honestly, the way when I look back, I think when Chad and Jeremy envisioned the band, it wasn't like this super situation of guy. I think it was more like Chad with like some girl doing some stuff, maybe doing like the step touch with a guitar kind of vibe. But ain't nobody give me an instrument, so I just went for it. Yeah. And I think that it was hard for them that people were drawn to me.
Yeah.
And
you think, because sometimes there's people talking from the outside, and they're like, "Oh, you guys," I mean, this happens
cooks in the kitchen, but managers and labels and all that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and there's probably to this day like a lot that I don't know. I just know that like when they came back and I had to make the decision of like, am I gonna do this or not? I did it knowing that I couldn't step back on how I was feeling. It had to be, I was going to come back healed, and I didn't want to like look back on anything. Right. It was just like, if we're going to do it for real, like we're all good now. And we are all good. Like we're still Shiny Toy Guns, to this day. So we put out a third album. Yep. And
my son's in the video for one of the songs.
True. For Fading Listening.
Yeah, great fucking song. I'll show you later. It's such a beautiful song, and Max is young. There's a bunch of kids playing in the studio. Max playing drums in it.
Nice.
Yeah, I watched it the other night. Just still gave me like goosebumps.
It's so cute.
It's a great song though.
Oh, thank you.
That was amazing. But did you do another project too in between that, or no?
Yeah, so in Sweden we did Versant during that time.
Heartbeats EP.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was all Daniel and I.
Okay.
That was just the two of us. We had 3 other guys, or 2 other guys that were like in the band, but Daniel and I did all the music for that.
You get to write songs and
I would say
get
like
it out and shit probably.
I've written my entire life, but mostly lyrics, like, just folders and folders and folders of poetry and just, words.
Yeah.
And
you never run out of things to sing about and talk about, huh?
No, not really.
You make your music the whole time I've known you. Like, it's crazy. Like, nonstop.
And then Sweden was like the first time that I was like, Quick Escapes was the first like front to back song I wrote completely by myself for that EP. And I absolutely fell in love with songwriting. And I thank the experience of being kicked out of Shining Two Guns for that, because it was like, okay, so these, you don't just have people writing songs for you anymore.
Yeah.
Like, can you do it? And I have since, like, I have so deeply fallen in love with songwriting. It's such a part of me, for myself, for other people.
Yeah, you do co-writing too.
Yeah, I love it. And that was the real, like, push the bird out of the nest.
And so when you come back and you're like, hey, well, if I'm going to come back in, I'm writing songs and this is how it's
and I didn't even have to ask.
Yeah,
that was they wanted that. And they wanted Daniel in the band too. So we brought Daniel back as a kind of a producer and also a multi-instrumentalist.
Okay.
So he was actually really integral in the third album as well. And he didn't end up lasting in the band,
Yeah.
But
and how was that record? How was the fans love that record?
When in retrospect, I love the album. We worked really hard on that. We spent like 2 years like really honing that.
Wow.
But I think when I look back, we were so desperate because they changed who Shiny Toy Guns was so much on the second album. I think we were so desperate to show the world that we were still the Shiny Toy Guns they fell in love with, that we didn't move forward. And the song, and that's just me being like just honest, like with myself. The song "Fading Listening" that Max played in the video, I think it was one of the later ones that we did. And if we had done an album like right after that, that was the direction we were heading. That was like it would have been more of that. Yeah. But I think we failed to really step forward because of that. We were just so desperate to go, it's still us, guys, and that probably wasn't what we should have done.
And how did the record do with the different singer? Do you have any idea? The people with the fans, were like, who's this? Who knows, right?
I mean, it did its thing, but the fans, it made me really happy because the fans kind of continued to ask for me.
It's awesome.
And I had my own anxiety in Sweden, just going, I'm going to get forgotten. They don't care, And in the beginning, and some of the super fans will probably remember this, but in the beginning, before they announced who it was, there was rumors that it was one of the Pussycat Dolls.
What? Wow.
And I was like,
Nicole, what's her name? Nicole or something? Yeah.
So but it turns out Cicely there was a reality show to be one of the Pussycat Dolls, and she was like in the early stages of that show. So I was like, okay, I knew. I knew her, she's just from like the LA scene, like, whatever. I don't want to.
No, I hear you. So you rejoined like in 2011.
Yeah. So I fly back in 2011 to America and we start making the record.
That's awesome. Who produced it?
Chad, Jeremy, and Daniel.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. Nobody else.
Wow. It's just called 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. And you were doing co-writing too. For other people too, during the time in Sweden too, or more in America?
No, that kind of started later. Once I started my solo stuff.
Yeah. Ghostwriting too and stuff.
Yeah, I signed a publishing deal and a record deal at the same time.
I remember that. Yeah.
And the publishing, a lot of people say publishing deals where artists go to die, like especially just like in the LA.
Yeah.
Artist scene, and I did not have that experience. Like they never. Like I still have 2 songs that are like the biggest that I've ever written that I'm just waiting. It's not time for them yet, but they're like timeless. Wow. So it's okay. There's no rush, That
you wrote for yourself or other people?
For myself. Okay. Like I have this song Freedom it's my baby. And it's almost like everything I'm doing is so that I can get to freedom. And it's a piano ballad. It's like not even like, but that's,
piano ballad.
That's my, like, what I want to get to is freedom, is show the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that Shiny Toy Guns record came out, and you just toured on that for a while, and you guys are back together?
Yeah, toured on that for a while. We were signed to a label, it was called 11-7. It was a lot of new metal.
Huh.
Very interesting experience. Not a good fit for us. They put us on tour with, like, Dirty Heads, and it was like...
Wow.
Yeah, it was...
So from a Motown label to a new metal label.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, it was kind of experimental for them.
Yeah.
And didn't work. That experiment did not pan out. And it was right at the tail end of that where I got offered, a record deal. It was when John Janik was leaving Atlantic, and he was going to take Jimmy Iovine's spot, and I was his first signing.
Wow.
And the manager of Shiny Toy Guns, like, kind of had a heart to... we had a new manager named Ari, and I had a heart to heart with him. I was like, I feel like this is an opportunity I have to take. And he's like, you do have to take it. I don't even know if the guys know that, but...
Wow. It's nice been doing solo since then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's been, like, a festival here or there that Shiny Toy Guns have played. And we always say, like, we're going to do a fourth album. It's just... It's going to feel right for all of us all of a sudden to make a fourth record, you know, because I think on that third record we felt forced and, we felt like we've got to do something. And if we make a fourth record, I want it to be relevant. I want it to be where I'm at, where Chad's at, where Jeremy's at, where Mikey's at. Like, we actually do something that's all of us now and not just what we think our friends want us to do that we once were. And I know that day will come. I'm not stressed about it. I know our fans are, but
definitely exciting for sure.
It is.
Especially for yourselves, because you'll be able to hear, the growth and the changes.
100%.
And I agree. Like, taking your time is the best.
Me
to
too.
really let it, not rush anything.
And I have like.
Sometimes you have so many songs that just.
I have my reasons for, like, staying on the course in my solo. Yeah. So in the last, like, 3 months, I don't even know if I should talk about it, but in the last, like, 3 months, maybe 3 to 6 months, I really, like, all of a sudden started feeling like myself again. I started feeling post-baby that I was, like, back. That happens. You really have a come to Jesus moment when you have a kid. You're like, what's important now? Like, where... I agree. Where do I want to be gone all the time? What do I want to do? Is this still super important to me? And you
see the world totally different.
Yep. And because they're number one. And literally everything that I do is out of excess of her. Yeah. Of what I have to give her and what I love to give her. So, at some point I decided, like, I do want to do this. And when we moved to Atlanta, Spencer kind of joined. Like, it's a total duo now. It's not just me. And I was floating around LA with different producers trying to find my sound. Yes. And I ended up marrying, like, someone who, like, is blowing my mind. We have the same sensibilities. We have the same taste. Like, and the stuff, like, Hallelujah is, like, the real first. Like, he did The Whole World. He did Changing the Water. Like, but this is the first song that I've put out that feels like it's me right now.
It's awesome.
That's like, this is me and this is the direction that I'm heading. It's not just like an older song. It's not, it's like, this is where I'm at. And it's super exciting. And I feel way more confident, having Spencer and not feeling alone in that and knowing that, like, if anything happens, like, we can just keep it going. It's not like, I got to call an old producer. And
so he produces too, and he also plays drums.
Oh, my favorite drummer. My absolute favorite drummer. It's like David Sandstrom, Spencer, and Aaron Spears, who is like Usher, Ariana. He's insane.
That's awesome.
But
so Hallelujah is a full-length record?
No, Hallelujah is just a single.
Okay.
It's just a song, and it's the vibe. And then, I mean, I don't want to spill too much of what's coming, but, like, Hallelujah is what I'm really hoping sets it off. Okay. So that's really exciting.
I mean, the first one you dropped was Don't Say a Word. That was the first singles you were dropped back then, 2016.
That was like the first. And again, like, there's only, I would say, like, Versant was the closest thing sonically that I was able to just go, like, at the time, like, this is me. Like, at the time I was super influenced by, like, Muse and Mew and, like, super dark, like, guitar and so high energy, loud drums. Like, that's what I wanted. And, Shiny Toy Guns, when I came back for album 3, like that felt appropriate at the time. So in my solo stuff, like I really didn't know, because I love to wail. Like,
yeah,
I always have. And then at some point I was like, I don't want to be like the Demi of alt. Like, I don't, it's just like, do it because you got it. Like, that's not my vibe. Like,
yeah.
So it's been fun to find, like, because also, like, I don't want to sing like a 12-song set where it's just like at your peak. Like, I wasn't doing myself any favors, because I did play a couple. I played a couple shows, and I'm like, damn, like every song's up there. What am I doing?
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Like,
yeah.
I'm excited for Hallelujah.
And they all have like their own different kind of flow, like the gold plated too. Like and like
gold plated is to this day like that's my. Like, I'm so proud of Gold Plated. It's because it's like just enough touch of like the urban influence that like I've always had. That's just like, I love Gold Plated. I'm dying to play it live again.
And then you dropped an EP, Watch Me EP.
Dropped an Watch Me EP, and it got taken down.
Why?
The producer of the song Watch Me, it wasn't his fault. It was his like manager / it was like one of those all-in-one like manager, attorney, kind of things. And she sent an email after we came to all these terms. They asked for crazy things that nobody else did, but we agreed because it was last minute. We were just like, whatever, we have to agree.
Was there a cover song on there or something?
No, but so after the song comes out, she's like, by the way, like I want to make sure that Jonathan can use this production for other people. Like, what do you mean? You're going to take this track and give it to someone? Like, and we're like, no. Like, my attorney's like, no, that's not how this works. And she asked for something else. And they just are like, hard no. That this is not how the music industry works. That you would even ask for that. And she didn't even know how to do it. So she filed a copyright complaint with Spotify. Not even the distributor, with Spotify. Spotify sent it to like TuneCore or whoever I had released it through. TuneCore doesn't even ask questions. They just take it down.
Wow.
And I was so broken because that was like my first real effort that I had worked years for.
Yeah.
And all my like confidence, everything, it's so embarrassing. Like all of a sudden your music's just taken down.
That's insane.
In the middle of like the first week or two of its release, when you're really trying to push, it's gone.
So you can't re-release those songs ever?
No, so I can.
Okay.
And honestly, I could have, in retrospect, I could have just put it back up.
Yeah.
Like she had taken it down, like they had taken it down in error. I hadn't done anything wrong. And when I do put out an album, like those songs are going to come back. But right now is not the time to put out an old song, like to look back. Like the songs are going to come back. They're still a huge part of my journey, but it's just hard for me. I've got to move forward, you know? So that's why those will come on the album.
And so what inspired, obviously you're an Outcast fan, doing the whole world song and video. I thought was awesome.
Thank you.
I think you said Big Boy liked it and stuff. That's amazing.
Dude, that was just fun. We did Change in the Water, and then I was literally in the shower, and all of a sudden that chorus, the whole world, and I'm like, I have to cover that. I have to cover it. And Spencer's from Atlanta. Like, that's like covering ABBA in Sweden, which, which by the way, I did. So I have a knack for like touching the untouchable, whether I should or not. So Spencer's like, and I knew they were untouchable, but I was like, we can pull it off.
Has anybody ever covered that song before?
I'm sure they have, but I haven't,
No, it was amazing. The video too, everything. Yeah.
Thank you. We had a ball with that. I literally was just like, I'm gonna do it. And I rewrote, I hope they're okay with this, but I completely rewrote Under 3000's and Killer Mike's verses. Like, not the words. I kept the words, the ones I was allowed to say.
Exactly.
There's some words.
Shout out to Killer Mike. We love Killer Mike.
Oh my God. Huge fan. But there's some words I'm not allowed to say.
Yeah.
And
respect.
So I worked around those and then rewrote the melodies completely. I wrote melodies for them. So, Killer Mike's was the easiest because it's the cadence was just play I rhyme, like, it's just very. Yeah. But I knew that the flex would be Big Boy's flex because it was so intricate. He's just so good. So I just practiced until I had it. Like,
wow. Is there any recordings of you rhyming ever in your life?
I'm sure there is.
Okay.
I'm sure there is. Like, I've always loved to do that. But and I think in the future I might like infuse that a little bit just because It'd be fun.
You got bars?
No.
So the Outcast cover, that was just for fun to put it out, make the video.
Pretty much. Like
awesome.
we didn't want like the rest of the year to go by without, any giving people anything. So that was just sort of like a fun thing to do,
Yeah.
Let's waste our savings on this.
And then you have like the song Come Down, and you have Live from the Empty Sanctuary.
Yeah, so we did Come Down with Band of You, which is like old friends of mine, and that was dope. And then we did Live from Empty Sanctuary, which was so fun.
So where was it actually live from?
From a sanctuary.
Okay, sick.
And there's like a series called Live from Empty Sanctuary. And they do art, like they did Lecrae, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they were like, we want you to just like do 2 of your songs. And I didn't really know what to expect. I thought it was going to be kind of intimate, but like I said earlier, like I have one speed. So I was like, I'm going to show up, do what I do. I don't know.
And that's in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got like a whole choir, which is like the dream, would be like a tour with a choir.
Yeah.
With a full gospel choir. Like that'd be
amazing.
The video is amazing, I have to say.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you so much.
It was really cool because I didn't know what to expect. And so when you're singing and then the camera pulls out, I was like, yo, that's what's up. I was like, that's so cool. But it had such a strong impact. And then it was shot really beautifully.
Yeah, they killed it.
And you kill it. I mean, it was my first time hearing it and seeing it. I was like, see what's going on here. And then I was like, oh, wow. I was like, there's a choir. And then I don't know. Last night I was listening to some interview you did with someone. I don't remember. But I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to turn off the lights. I'm going to sleep. And you said something where I was like, wait a minute. I got to get up and write this down because it was something about lyrics. But anyway... were you influenced by was it Nat King Cole?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nat King
so
Cole,
it was Nat King Cole and gospel.
So
how did that come in? Like being from Southern California.
It's crazy.
It's interesting.
No, right. So I was raised in the church and like that.
Oh, you were?
There we go.
I was raised in the church and I have gospel and like.
So was there a band in the church or just a choir, like a full on choir?
Both.
Okay.
Band and choir.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've
too.
I've always been drawn to gospel music. And it's been a long time, like figuring out like just the right touch of it, figuring that out. But like I said, like the dream.
But that's when it made sense when I heard that interview and I saw the video. I was like, ah.
So I've always been a tone. Like if I like a singer, it's because of their tone. And like because I do believe anyone can sing, but like your tone is what's gonna get people to really open up to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And, I think like you're born with a tone or not, like you either have that or not, and then you can work on acrobatics. But like crooners and like people with like real warm voices, like that's what I'm drawn to. And Nat King Cole from like super young age was like just on vinyl, like just playing Nat King Cole. Loved Nat King Cole.
That's awesome. I think Derek could be a good crooner.
Yeah, I think so too. I believe that, I'm just still learning, it's
about your voice?
Yeah.
Different tones of your voice?
Absolutely. I think it's a process, It also depends on what you're going through in your life has a big impact. The sound that's coming out, even if it's people are playing an instrument and music changes. But what's really cool is like what you were saying about your personality, like being in that music, with the changes, like you said on the album 3, was it 3?
Yeah.
That you trying to do something from the past that you felt like, okay, like fans, this is what they want to hear. But in actuality, what's so interesting, I think, about artists is when you get to hear what they're doing in the moment. And that's what makes it so special, that moment, like, it's not trying to go back or go forward. It's like, what's happening
and
now?
that right there is where I finally feel like I am with this song and the next one. I'm just like,
right on.
I'm in it. And then you can evolve from there.
Yes, exactly.
But I have like a Dropbox of 150 songs that I love.
I believe it, man.
Like when I was living in LA, I was doing like 8 sessions a week.
Damn.
Some doubles. Like I literally just have song after song after song. Some are misses, like but I have so many songs that I love. And
I like how you push yourself too and try different styles and push your singing in different poppy or everything, dancey or
and now
And you're living in the now and not in the past.
Yeah, I have to.
I love that. Because you probably have a bunch of songs that are pretty dope. You mentioned the one, but that you could drop it. Like, nah, I'm working on the one right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm being more intentional with like making sure people understand what my intentions are.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've done in the past. I think this is my time to go, like, put it on a silver platter, make it simple. This is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
No confusion.
What's the song called where you ride the bicycle and stuff?
Dirt bike.
The dirt bike, yeah. What's that one? The video came out recently.
Gold plated?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well, so Gold Plated had a BMX in it, but Hallelujah is the song's about to come.
Out, yeah.
Is like based. It's like what most of it is. So
okay.
when Spencer and I lived here, we lived in our house in Sherman Oaks. We didn't have a car at first.
Yeah.
So we got these BMX bikes and we just romp everywhere. That's what we did. We just put hoodies on and just that we were just reckless. And then you have a kid.
Yeah.
And we had a kid. We got a car. We grew up a little bit. And all of a sudden, like, kind of didn't really ride bikes anymore.
Yeah.
And then when we moved into this town that we live in now, it's 100 miles of golf cart path. So we just started riding again.
That's pretty awesome.
We didn't get a second car. We got a dope golf cart.
Okay.
It's awesome.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's how you cruise around?
That's literally how we go to Target. Like, go get dinner on the golf cart. It's sick.
Damn. It sounds like a nice, simple, chill life out there, man.
I want one.
You want a golf cart?
Hell yeah.
I can see you. Do you have to have a driver's license to drive that around?
No, you have to be like 15.
Oh, you're chilling. Yeah, Derek's
I'm
good.
good.
Wow.
It's so fun. I don't know how I would not have that life now.
Yeah.
I'm so used to it.
So you seem like you're happy in where you're at in your life right now. You're in a good place.
I'm like, I've always called myself terminally optimistic, and I just feel that again. I don't think I did for a minute.
Yeah.
And now I finally feel like career-wise or path-wise, like, it doesn't matter. I'm not concerned with like winning. I'm happy. I'm so proud of this song. I'm proud of like the art that Spencer and I are making. I'm just excited. It's just like, let's go have some fun. Like, we made something that we love, and as an artist, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
It should be something that you love, that you would want to listen to. And if I had a friend that put this song out, I'm telling you, I'd be amped. So I love it.
Did you feel like you put pressure on yourself for a lot of years after Shiny to a Gun to like either make a hit or have like a banger or like something to get your name out there?
Even in Versant, like, people were like, "Where's your You Were the One?" We would talk to record labels that were like, "You don't have your You Were the One," and that was hard for me, But and then when I'm out here in LA, I'm writing with massive writers and producers that are all trying to get the single, and even I've written big songs, but they're not my vibe.
Yeah.
And that's the tricky part, is finding a song that doesn't sound too pop, because I'm not trying to do something too pop. That's not me.
Yeah.
It's always been, Shine to a Gun's kind of struggled with this as well, like not being cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Writing, the lines of these genres, and here I am finding myself doing that. If you pull it off, it's massive.
Yeah.
If you pull it off, and you pave a new way for a lot of people. But, I can't just do something. And I'd had people, that whole wave, even kind of before Billy, when people were doing like the real small, pretty voice.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people tell me, like, just do that. Like, it's a no-brainer. Just do that. And I couldn't bring myself to do it, because that's, I've had people in my life say, find what it is that you do better than anyone else and exploit the shit out of it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how you win, not just like win for a moment. And
yeah. You perfectionist?
Oh yeah. Struggle with it. Straight up. Same with Spencer. So we're just, I'm trying to not let him be a perfectionist, and he's trying the same for me, like, we let each other speak in each other's lives like that. But
would you ultimately be like put a full length record out and go on tour and do all that? Yeah.
That's like where we want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so hard to do before you have a song off the ground. So
yeah.
That's what I'm hoping, that between this song and the next song, that I'm in a place where we can go. Like,
you think you put it out yourself or make demos and shop them around? Like, how would you do it?
I think probably the next round, but it's a numbers game right now, and I'm not even complaining about that. Like, that's just the state, and I think the people who like complain about labels or whatever, it's just like that's a business decision that they've made. And you sign to a major, like, that's a business decision in and of itself. So
just even hearing you say that, majors are such dinosaurs now. Like, you even need a label anymore.
Yeah. Right. So if I can establish what it is I'm trying to do on my own, there's so much power in that to then go to someone and be like, look, it's working.
Yeah.
Help me, you know, if I feel like I need that in the moment. So again, like, I believe it. I'm going to continue to self-fund, you know, to the best of my ability. I believe so much in this song. It's just a matter of exposure.
Yeah.
How do you get it to people? How do you get it to more ears?
I know, man.
It's a game.
I mean,
it's
YouTube
crazy.
helps, obviously, putting everything on YouTube.
So many different ways nowadays.
With the internet and social media and all that. But it's like algorithm, just all that shit. It's a different game.
It's such a game right now.
And you've been through indies, majors, it's everything.
I've had like 6 record deals.
That's crazy. I know.
It's stupid. I've, you know, 2 of those for my solo stuff.
But you've stayed busy and done what you love for such a long time, making music, though. It's incredible, though.
Yeah, I've
you grind, you hustled hard.
Just enough to continue to do what I love. Like and not be, you know, too hungry. Just a little hungry, you know?
Yeah.
Hungry enough to want it.
Do you have any major regrets in your life?
Oh my God, yeah. I don't know how I would have changed this, but being bulimic for 13 years, stole so much of my life. It's one of the biggest reasons I'm still going is because I feel robbed. I feel robbed of all those years. Like 2 weeks ago, I was looking at some old pictures. Like even when we first started, I look disgusting. I look so sick. And it's crazy because I kind of want to make like a video about this to people who are addicts or have eating disorders or whatever. Cause
it could help you. Your story could help people.
I thought to myself that I was a high-functioning bulimic. I thought, like, I had it together. Greg knew me through this, you know. Greg knew me and loved me through this.
What up,
know?
Greg? We love you.
But I thought I had it together. And I could still sing. I'd throw up right before I went on stage.
Wow.
Straight up. I was sick.
Holy shit.
People didn't realize, like,
I remember you being scared. I never even thought about that. Like, fuck.
It was constant. And you know, like I'm a small person.
Yeah.
But it was like making me like gaunt, you know, like that heroin chic kind of like, it was like, but my face, everything just looks so sick and sullen. And when I look at those pictures,
who knew about it? Your family?
It makes me so, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, you know, I never really like hid it, but I definitely wasn't like the person who was doing it for attention. It was my own demon. Like I was just addicted to consumption at the time.
What was the turnaround you found?
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
So here's the crazy thing. I did a lot of stuff to try to get rid of it, you know, whether rehab or therapy or whatever. The only way, and it sucks because I don't know if this could help anybody, but one day, this is the only thing that makes sense to me. One day it no longer served me.
Wow.
And it hurts me to even realize that is so true that I was leaning on it.
Yeah.
That even though I was trying so hard to get rid of it and prayed away, like I tried everything.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I still was using it, and that's why it continued to manifest and have such control on me, because I was using it to regulate everything. We're talking regulating the good times. It was just the bad times, anything. It was just like, if I felt too much, you've known me.
Yeah. I
am pretty much myself anytime you meet me. There isn't like this, I don't PMS. Like I don't. Like I literally, I'm such a dude in that way. Like I'm just, you meet me and I'm going to be me. You're going to meet me. There's no like two highs and lows. And I think anytime I would feel something high or low, I would regulate that, which is like, oh, no. You know, like that's, I would just self-medicate, you know, and it's sick, but it's a huge regret of mine that I don't know what I would have done differently, because I genuinely was trying, and people around me were trying. But somewhere it's like you picture like the cogs in a machine, and all of a sudden everything in my life aligned, which makes me feel like I was unaligned. That whole time there was something in me that needed what I was doing. Yeah. And I don't mean that it served me, but it did. And one day it no longer served me, and it wasn't a fight. It was gone. And this is something that strong-armed me for 13 years.
13 years. Crazy.
For 13 years, it ate me alive, tried to kill me. And
Did you almost die a couple times? Wow.
I mean, I was hospitalized. I mean, not like on my deathbed, but definitely in the hospital so weak, you know, like once or twice on tour.
And what was the lightest you weighed? Do you remember? Were you obsessed with your weight too back then?
Not really, But I definitely believed the lie that it was the bulimia that was keeping me skinny. And then that was crazy. Afterwards, I was like, wait, I'm still skinny.
How was it to perform without having any energy?
Well, you know, like, again, like the whole lie that you're high functioning, whatever. Like, I would eat just enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and then you've got adrenaline when you're on stage, you know, like.
True.
That could fuck your throat up too, the throwing up and stuff.
I feel, so I've probably mentioned like 2 or 3 reasons that I'm still going. One of the biggest reasons that I'm still going, I've been a professional singer my whole life, and I feel like the world doesn't know how I can sing.
Wow.
I feel like an ox right now. I feel like, give me the mic.
You feel you got a lot to prove still?
I feel like I had so much robbed from me. I thought I could still sing, and now I'm like, oh no, I can sing. Everyone, just give me.
Yeah, your solo stuff it's powerful.
Thank you.
I mean, because I listened to stuff that you did before, and I was like, okay, let me hear solo stuff now, because I was like, you know, it's cool. But then, I mean, it was like, yo, she can.
Yeah, she can really
sing.
Yeah,
thank you.
And then it really tied in with like. I know, I'll come back to that, like gospel, you know. It's I mean, those singers, you know, from a church and things like that, the musicians, the players that are coming from that world are just the best in the music industry. They always have been.
Yeah.
You know, just the power that they're able to give. But I could really see in the video with the choir, and then there's just like, oh, you went over the top of the choir, you know, in the chorus. I was like, my God, I was like, who knew, you know, coming, you know, your voice coming from such a small frame. I was just like really impressive, I have to say.
That means so much.
But I think that you're really on the right path, you know, 100%.
Thank you.
That's coming honestly, like Toby introduced me to you as far as like, oh, check her out. And I was like, all right. And then I was just like, whoa, okay, all right. And I was like, you know, it was really
I can't
cool.
even tell you how much that means to me. Truly. I'm fighting, and I want it. Like I feel more confident than I used to. You know, there's been a lot of times in my life where I'm like, oh, I hope people like this, and I'm like,
are you worst critic?
Yeah. I feel like that like alter ego vibe where like I'm so insecure, but
I think all musicians are in a sense.
But man, and that's art, you know, like how do you create vulnerable art if you're not, you know? And like, you know, I'm such a positive person.
Yep.
But I genuinely think that's because I put it all in my music. I don't write happy songs. My music is so sorrowful. I am drawn to sad songs.
Me too.
That's why I like crooners. That's why sad songs, even when I'm in a good vibe, that's I don't like, I'm not drawn to happy songs.
Yeah.
I think it's because I get it all out on my music. But so if you meet me in person, I'm super happy. And that's not fake. Like I'm a happy kid. I just,
happy kid.
Not actually, but no, but I'm happy, and I just put it all in my art.
Well, that's one of my questions too, an optimist or pessimist, but yeah, you've always been positive, always.
Always. I can't
always
help
been like
it.
That.
I can't, like,
Your whole life you've been like that through everything?
My whole life. I try to see like and I don't even try. Like I see it. There's something in the ADD, like even in a panic moment, I am not panicked. I'm like, here's how we get out of this. We're good. We're good. This happened. Crap.
Right.
We got it. Like every single time.
Yeah. That's been really helpful too as being a mom too as well.
Oh my gosh.
Being so
absolutely.
Chill. Yeah. Is your man like that too? He's positive too?
Yeah, well, he's a little. I
wouldn't say.
I wouldn't say
like that my
pessimist.
Wife too. Yeah,
he's more of like a realist.
That's what my wife calls herself, a realist. Moon
so
does,
I'm like the dreamer. I went at the times in my life where I've won. I've been the dreamer. Like I picture, like I'm floating off in the balloon in the clouds, but someone's got to be holding that string.
Yeah,
you know, like someone. I need that grounding force, and Spencer has 100% been that for me.
I love that he balances it.
Absolutely.
It's the same with me. Yeah. And how was the lockdown for you? Did that change your life and made you away?
I mean, she was born a month or two. So when you first have a kid, they can't have certain shots. They have no immunity for 30 days.
Yeah.
So we were just starting to come out of that. Like, oh, maybe it's time to introduce her to some people when the LA lockdown happened.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So we were just like, all right, cool. We were fine with it because all we could think about was protecting her.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a lot of like what happens to kids at that time.
Yeah.
And when we moved to Georgia, we still had that like LA protective mentality, and it's not like that out there.
No, it's way different.
No, they're like, why are you still wearing a mask?
Yeah. It's way different. So you went out there right during that. Yeah.
Yeah, moved out there in like 6 months, after like 6 months of lockdown here in LA.
Smart move. A lot of people did that.
It was awesome.
Yeah, the timing.
Just got an opportunity, a house that we could buy, and we knew. There wasn't even like a should we do this. It was like, we got to do this.
And you miss Cali sometimes.
I do. I love it here.
Yeah.
I love living in the city, but I also, it's crazy how much I've also loved my quiet.
Yeah,
it's like woods. I'm an extroverted introvert. Like, I don't know if there's a proper term for that, but like, I love. Okay, so I think my younger self was on all the time. I was the front man all the time.
Yeah.
And then later in life, like, I'll turn that on in a second, but I'm not that all the time. I'm way more chill and normal, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You know, and then like, but that comes out of me real quick when I need to.
Yeah.
You're
a mom now too. It's crazy, man. It's so crazy.
It's the greatest privilege of my life.
Yeah.
She's the coolest thing. She's my absolute world.
Her name's London?
London Grace.
It's a great name.
Yeah. She's I'm upset, like straight up, like the word obsession. Like we're obsessed with each other. She's mommy's girl.
Is there new music you listen to? Do you listen to new hip hop? Do you listen to new groups? Pay attention to what's happening?
I mean, not a lot. I mean, Spencer and I, we just work so much. But like we love Kendrick. We love like
Kendrick's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. We love. I'm trying to think what.
Have you heard like new hardcore bands or punk bands or? Have you heard Turnstile?
I was just gonna say Turnstile.
Yeah, that's always what we bring up on the pod. Okay,
like,
good.
I literally was like, okay, you know, because when you come from a scene, you still listen to that for nostalgic reasons, even when you grow up, and it's hard to like newer stuff. Turnstile's just got it. Yeah, they've got it, and I was just like, okay. I love this.
It's all the great things I love about punk and hardcore in one.
100%.
Melody, breakdowns, everything.
It just feels so good to like still see someone doing that. Like,
have you seen them live yet?
Videos.
Live is incredible. Yeah, the videos are great too, but live we went and saw them. Like it's different. Yeah, it's so good, and I love what they're doing. I'm stoked for them. Like they're really pushing the envelope, I guess. You know.
I was literally gonna bring them up. When you did, they're tight.
So Hallelujah. So what is that? What's that vibe? What's that gonna?
So Hallelujah is well, it's coming out tonight.
Tonight, yeah.
Yeah. It's
comes out June 3rd.
It comes out June 3rd, Friday, June 3rd. It's basically a thank you to my friends. You know, I write a lot of love songs, you know, and this is like, again, like right where I'm at right now, realizing how much like bulimia stole from me, and then coming out of that, being pregnant, and you know, dedicating like 2 years of my life to that. Coming back around feeling like myself again and realizing how much my friends got me through that time, still loved me through that. Because when you have an addiction, it's so cyclical. And the thought that people see you as that, as an alcoholic, as a drug addict, like that's not you. Like Timmy the alcoholic or whatever, like that's not Timmy. That's not how he was raised. That's something he fell into and needs help to get out of. Like he's so much more. And the thought that people... my friends that saw me as Carah and not as like my problem that I was struggling with, like I'm just so thankful for the ones that still love me and you know just kind of stood by me while I figured it out. You know, it took me a long time. Were the people trying to help you like, nah, I'm good? Like you weren't really... No, there was, you know, the only time, and this is like dark, you know, but the only times I'd really like lash out is if someone like physically tried to stop me. It's like you try to take a beer out of an alcoholic's hand. Yeah. You know, like you'll see them get enraged real quick. You'll see them protect their addiction. And the few times that like my family or whatever, like I'd get really angry. Yeah. And I wouldn't lash out. Like I just don't. Like anger's not something I do. Like but that's when I would feel that. I'd feel that I wanted to protect, like, don't F with me. I know you said you woke up and it's kind of like it's really not working for me anymore. Was it a hard journey to go back into this eating normal and being... No. That's the craziest thing. Overnight I had a normal relationship with food. Wow. And never looked back. Overnight it was just like, oh, I eat and I'm not thinking about how much. If I eat too much, oh well. If something.
Were you writing shit down or obsessing about what
No, not at the time. No, no, not before or after. That was never really something I did. But it was just all of a sudden had a normal relationship with food. It was gone.
That's amazing.
And I remember like 2 weeks in, because there was random times where I would go like a week or something, whatever. But I was like 2 weeks in, and I remember thinking, oh my God, I haven't thrown up. Like, I haven't binged. Like, this is crazy.
Fuck.
And I was so scared that I removed that thought. I was just like, don't think about it. Just whatever.
Were you solo at the time or any relationship?
I was with Spencer.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do think that something about this, like, he didn't do anything. So here's the crazy thing about Spencer. He is so non-addictive. And he doesn't have the empathy to like understand. Like, he does not understand addiction at all. So someone comes, oh man, I just can't stop drinking. He looks him deadpan. It's like, stop.
Yeah.
And he's being funny, but he's being dead honest. Like, he doesn't understand. He's like, you sound like an idiot. You want to stop? It's ruining your life. Like, he'll just look, and like, for me, like, like to have someone like so close to me who I knew felt that way, it does make you feel like an idiot. Because at the end of the day, just stop. Like, just stop. You're killing yourself. And you're killing your relationships. And it's like, when you're in an addiction, you are never giving anything else 100%.
No, you're right.
You are in that spiral, and that is your number one, whether you want it or not, whether you admit it or not.
Yeah. So would you wake up? Would you eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Would you eat something and then just get rid of it, or were you eating all day, or was it barely even eating?
I'd wake up before I go to bed. I'd decide today's the day, never throwing up again, and then I'd black out, and I would have eaten like the house.
Wow.
It was like a zombie. It was straight up like something took over me. I was in it. It was, and it sucks because bulimia, like, you're addicted to something you're dependent on. So while an alcoholic's like, I'm gonna stay out of the bar, this, that, like, I've literally programmed my brain to find the pleasure of a cocaine addict, like, out of this stuff. Like, you rewire when you're like in it like that. The brain is powerful. Yeah. So I would completely black out.
Would you eat anything you wanted?
Anything.
Wow.
Disgusting. I was abhorrent.
Whole thing of ice cream, everything. Fucking.
And then, especially if it was sugar, like, you kind of like sugar comatose. Like, you're out, and it's crazy. And then, so the verse in Hallelujah, the very first verse is, I'm in the bathroom, a mess again. Hold on, I have to sing it. I'm in the bathroom, a mess again. Oh, making moves that I can't defend. Seeing stars never made amends. So that's me throwing up and seeing stars, and it never fixed anything. That's me saying, seeing stars never made amends, but I'm alone again, so to hell with it. And anyone with addiction will understand. Yeah. Like, when you're alone and you're not with your friends, you're not with your family, your support network, that's when, like, whether you hear voices or whether it's yourself or whatever, that's when that stuff starts creeping in. Yeah. So I'm alone again, so the hell with it. I'm going to just do it.
That's amazing. We're so happy you're talking about this. It's going to help so many people. Yeah, I think telling your story.
I just want to be open. Like, because I don't feel any shame about it. Yeah. Like, that's just what I went through. And now I hope that I can, like, encourage people, like, however long it takes. Like, it's so worth it. Life is so killer on the other side. Yeah. And it's just, like, being able to give all of myself to my relationship, to my career, to my daughter, to everything. To myself. Yeah. It's yourself. Just like to my own brain, my own train of thought, to actually be there for so long. Felt like I was gone. Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm happy for you. You're in a great place. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to hear the music and what do you have coming,
I'm pumped. I was so happy.
What was your last real job?
Like
you had a boss.
So when I somewhere in the last like 5 to 7 years,
really?
I worked for while I was figuring out solo stuff, I ended up working for Carole King's daughter, who manages Carole King and Jesse McCartney.
Oh wow, that's amazing!
And that was something I actually really enjoyed because I had a lot that I could kind of like help and offer experience.
With that. Yeah, the music biz, yeah.
And it was fun for me, and it was, and I got to meet and show with Carole King, who's an absolute legend. She's
That's cool.
She's a gem. Like in person, she's an absolute gem. But her daughter and I, like that's who I was with most of yesterday. Like she's amazing. One of my closest friends now.
That's cool. I can see you being like a mentor, a music industry mentor for people.
Yeah, and I've actually the guys in Shine Toy Guns and I have talked about that. Like, how much could we offer like bands? Like we've been through so much together.
Totally.
Pretty much anything you can be through as a band, like even that we didn't talk about today, we've been through, and we could just counsel,
like a music therapist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure there is one like that with Music Cares or something, Derek, or no?
There is.
That'd be awesome.
There are certain bands that go to psychiatrists, like
one for.
I knew
most famously Metallica.
Yeah, the Metallica documentary, but yeah.
There's a friend of mine who I played with from New York, Sarah Cox. She's an awesome bass player, but her dad did this, and so he brought back together like Aerosmith, and he was gonna work with Kurt Cobain, but then that happened. But he also brought together Aerosmith and somebody else. But I was just always like, tell me what's going on. Like, give me the dirt, man.
Give me the juice.
During like dinners and stuff. But he was really, professional. He's like, oh, no, I couldn't. And I was like, yeah, you can.
You can.
And it was like Bon Jovi was the other one.
Oh, shit.
But I mean, it was like, it's so important. Like you're saying, I think that would be helpful to so many young bands because communication is key, as you know.
100%.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I was asking before, like, so did they email? They flew to you?
I mean, that's amazing.
They ended up flying to me twice.
I mean, because you spend so much time together. You had those many years together playing, doing these shows, and you become really attached.
Yeah, it's family.
Family too.
It's family,
yeah. And so it's. I mean, I know my family. It wasn't a lot of communication at a very young age. My parents grew up in like the 50s, so it wasn't like always like speaking what's really happening, which can be so detrimental.
100%.
And so I think with bands, it's really important to say those things. Don't
don't let it get to that point.
Exactly.
That's even something that when Spencer and I started dating, like that we were able to establish out the gate that we weren't going to let anything build up in our relationship. Like as soon as something felt a little off, address it, knock it out, because like
so important communication.
Yeah, and we also like made sure we never lost respect for each other. Like there's no names, we never get to the point where we're raising our voices, because that's all respect. So it's just like, no, we respect each other, and even if we have to figure something out. And he's just my best friend, so it's easy. Yeah,
I think my wife, after 26 years of marriage, she raised her voice, but she still respects me. But she yells sometimes. I mean, just because I'm a space cadet. You have any more questions for her?
I believe that's it.
I'm excited to have you here and just talk to you and hear your journey. I know you for many
glad.
years, and never get to sit down like this and just talk and
hear
what's going on with you. It's exciting.
I'm so glad
I'm proud
I
of
got to be here. Thank you.
You're in a good place.
I feel like I'm in a good place.
Yeah.
Like, just like mentally and physically, I feel good.
You've been through it mentally and physically. It's crazy, man. I didn't even know that.
I've been through so much.
I know. But you're here and you're telling your story, and I think it's awesome. So Hallelujah, June 3rd. Hopefully a full length, hopefully like a tour or something, huh?
Yep. That's where we're headed.
And Shiny Toy Guns never broke up, so that's there.
Yep.
That could happen.
Absolutely.
And those guys all live in America?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeremy currently lives in New York. Mikey lives here, and Chad lives in Oklahoma.
You guys still in touch?
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Jeremy and I are. He's really close to Spencer too, so we.
Yeah.
Jeremy and I talk a lot, and Jeremy was like my closest, like from the beginning.
Yeah, I
like
remember
that's
that.
who I was introduced to, for Shiny Toy Guns, and then I got really. Mikey and I were like we were the underdogs. So we were UDs, like that was what we. So, but I love all the guys that they're my family.
Awesome. And we talked earlier about off the pop about maybe having more kids, maybe adopt. It's kind of cool.
I have always, since I was, I remember like 5th or 6th grade, like I'm gonna adopt. There's too many kids that need mommies, and my mom used to say like I have no idea where you got that from. My dad was in the foster system.
Okay.
So it could have been from that, but I don't know. There really are like kids that need parents, and it's so cheesy, but like the whole children being the future, like that's how we shape society.
100%.
Is by shaping the next generation.
And we need them badly right now too.
Oh man.
And both your parents are still around?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They in the South too?
Yeah, so my sister moved there first. She started having kids, and my parents moved there, and then my other sister moved there, and that was all before I went there.
Oh, it's perfect then.
But we're all there.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
I'm sure your parents are proud of you, seeing all the different versions of your music career and everything, you know?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, you'll figure it out. No, but
still young.
They have supported me since day one. Like, they have just been like, they got it. I don't know why, because they, it wasn't like I was, Trying to Guns had a good moment, but it wasn't like, even before and after that, they have just been like,
that definitely helps a lot.
Supported
me.
Family.
Especially you've been singing since you were like 5 years old. It's crazy, man.
I just always knew it. I loved it.
Thank you, Arnold.
Arnie.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for being here. And people can find you on the gram, Carah Faye. You can find. Is there a website for your music or anything like that too?
No, I'm basically just.
On SoundCloud.
I'm TikToking.
Oh, you're TikToking.
Dude, I love TikTok.
Wow, Derek's on, but I don't see him on that much. Max, Max is on there. You take it? What? Yeah, say some guy.
I've seen you on TikTok on my For You page.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, shit, girl.
No, like straight up, I'm not just TikToking because I'm supposed to.
Okay.
I love TikToking.
Okay.
It's the realest platform. They don't want like a fake branded version of you. They want you to be real, or else they don't care. And what's cool about TikTok is every time you post, it's to new people.
Oh, that's true.
And you don't get that with any other platform.
That's very
you better
true.
step your TikTok up, bro.
I saw a bunch of strangers there. Most of the people are strangers.
So you love it. You just do all kinds of.
I love it. It's me being me, and on Instagram a little more curated, but like TikTok, it's just like you're gonna see every side of me, and it's been really refreshing for me to show that again.
That's awesome.
I think it's really given me confidence, honestly.
Okay. And so you love it. Is it 15-second videos or something, right?
It's up to 3 minutes if you want it to be.
So Max, you saw on For You page?
For You page? It's
Max,
for people like Toby Morse who don't know much about the internet.
The terminology.
It's like the Explore page on Instagram. The whole thing is like that.
It's like that's what you go for.
It's what you like. If you like a video, more of that video is going to show up on your For You page.
Sick. Yeah. You can curate it for like, it's like Reddit, but for like whatever, like you know, Reddit can be whatever you want. You know, it's kind of like that, but also it's a leveler, like super famous people commenting on nobody's video, like anyone can go viral.
Wow.
But that's what's so cool is that there isn't like this hierarchy of like, oh, I'm too cool to like this photo. Because if you entertain them, they're going to be like, this is dope or whatever. There's this leveling field. I don't know. I like what it's turned into.
And people go viral pretty crazy on there, huh?
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be that way for always. Max has gone viral.
I do know that. I do saw that Gym Class Heroes like a year ago, one of their old songs blew up on there, and then their records went up, and then Travi later on posted a gold record. Like something happened, like where they reused the old song and it went viral on TikTok.
Right now,
older songs.
Right now, TikTok is king for music.
Okay.
TikTok is like where. It's the biggest discovery for music, and it's
wow. Okay.
It's over everything.
Damn, that's good to know. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think it won like the most downloaded app.
Oh, you said the other more than Instagram, more than anything, right?
Yeah. A lot of people were like late to it or are still because it got branded as like a kid thing.
Yeah, it did.
Because that's kind of like where it blew up, but
it
is not just that.
TikTok is very different in China.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely
very different. They curate it. What I've heard, what they're saying is that they curate it more for educational things.
Right.
That's what's more likely to go viral.
Exactly.
So it's not whereas here it's usually like the dumb, the
silly American shit. Yeah.
Entertaining, like America's Funniest Home Videos. Like that's what they want. Like that's what's gonna go viral. Not just that, but like that's definitely what works really well.
So we can find you on the TikToks.
You can find me on the TikToks.
And you have some clips of music on there and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You get followers on TikTok, too? Is that a thing? Or is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. I feel like I was too old for that shit, but I know Derek's on there.
I feel like...
And Derek's older than me, so...
I'm learning. I'm learning all the time.
Dude, TikToks. I don't know.
All right, man.
I like it.
We're TikToking out of here. Thank you, Carah Faye, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And Derek, thank you, too, as well.
Yeah.
And Greg, thank you for being here, too, in the kitchen. Greg, thank you, man.
Yes.
Hold me down.
The crew.
The crew is back. Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye. Another one.
And we back.
Another one.
We always do this. We always come back on.
Another
if
one.
the guest is still here and we forget something. So
Another one.
Go ahead,
We were
Derek.
just vibing.
Go, Derek, go.
I was just thinking, like being being an artist, performing music, creating music with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
You have a kid together. Mm-hmm. You're around each other all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Huh.
What do you do? Do you have your own space for like yourself to step away, or are there times where you can, like you're gonna hold the baby?
Great question.
I'm
a lady's vocals.
I mean, do you need that time? Or
I personally need it less than Spencer.
Okay.
Like I don't really have like the internal like I'm freaking out, I gotta be alone, but like Spencer I think does center himself when he's alone with his thoughts and can like meditate or whatever. And so I think he does that every once in a while, but I am very much like he's my best friend. My kid's my best friend. Like we don't. Yeah. But he, like I'll write the song, and then he spends a lot of time up there producing on the second floor. Mm-hmm. So it's like most of the day, like I'll be like checking in or whatever to make sure I like what he's doing. Yeah.
And he takes constructive criticism from you about
stuff?
Okay.
Like
that's important.
I would say 99 times out of 100, like I absolutely love what he's doing, but like there's, cause we have such similar sensibilities. Like
he knows what you write and the stuff you like and
totally
your vocal range and all that.
But we just kind of, we make sure we get on the same page before he even starts.
Right.
And that helps a lot. Yeah. And then he can like, cause I can't even stay up all night and like work on music. Like that's not when my brain is creative. But Spencer is like, okay, that's something turns on and he'll just all night. All night wizard.
Mm-hmm.
I see people doing that, man, grinding, man. Like 5 or 6 in the morning.
I'm definitely not that person, but I love that exists. People like that. And that could be a great balance, I think, for you guys. It seems to be working pretty well.
Yeah, we find I think I naturally get time away from him because I'm sort of default parent. Right. Like that's, I'm mommy, as I should be. Moms. And so I naturally like, that's where I'm at a lot of the time. Like I am home with my kid. Right. Like, and it's, we live a crazy active life. Like I'm not just home. Like that's not what we do.
Yeah.
Like we're super, we love the Atlanta music scene.
How old is your daughter?
2.5.
2.5, okay.
2.5, and super social. So she can take her anywhere. Like I can't wait to tour with her.
It's amazing just having one like that. I could take Max everywhere when he was young. I just love that. He's so mobile.
I want that.
That's people think like when you have a baby, your whole life changes and everything revolves around the baby, but actually the baby's life revolves around your life in a sense,
He's like, you better get hit, baby.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Your life's not over.
100%.
You better just get hit with this.
No,
you better like flying.
Do you have a job? Are you bringing the money home?
Can you play an instrument? Do you like travel?
Can you pay rent? No, I didn't think so.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, your life doesn't. People think, oh my God, you're a baby, and then you disappear. But
no, someone told me you'll be more successful after you have a kid, and I was like, that's bullshit. And no, I remember thinking that. I remember thinking like, hardy harp, like no way. But what happens is that you have such minimal time when you have a kid, and it's what you choose to do with that time, and you learn. If you have 1 hour a day,
that's true.
You learn how to hammer through that hour.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was
and so now, like, she starts preschool in August.
That's pretty fast.
And there's going to be this 5-hour window of daytime.
Right.
It's a lot of time.
Like, the world's not ready for what I'm.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna have so much time, to work.
That's incredible.
To work and to grind, and that I have, because I am obsessed with being a good parent. Like I am raising my kid to be just an exceptional human in this world. Like I'm obsessed with that.
That's amazing.
And
I wish all parents thought like that.
Yeah.
It's your job to be the role model.
It is 100%. And so 2.5 years now. So now it's like time when it's weird to hand her over to like another adult for a brief window and to trust, that teacher.
That's hard.
It's weird. I'm going to cry, but we're going to get through it.
No, it's going to be emotional for sure.
Yeah. But, and now it's time for mom to, I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. And she loves music. And there isn't a drop in me that I know she wants me to do this. And I know that older version of her will be glad that I did.
Yeah.
And that I didn't
Proud,
just
yeah.
stop.
It's crazy when you had all the time in the world running around doing music, and then you become a parent. You're like, wow, I'm looking forward to a couple months when I'm at 5 hours a day to do whatever I want. It's amazing. And you really appreciate that time.
People have like entire 24-hour windows, and they don't realize that like how much of that time they spend on their phone.
Facts.
You know, or just sitting
We're not getting
around.
shit done.
Yeah.
I would say, I know you gave me the eyes, but I would say for Max.
I know, I was looking at
I know,
Max
but I would say for Max, as we know, he's out a lot in the street, surfing, skating, always on his bike. He's a very active kid for 2022.
This is true.
We break his balls, but
absolutely we will never stop breaking his balls.
But he surfs twice a day. He's out. Never played video games. D-block, skating.
This is true.
Workout.
This is very, very true.
In moderation, like the phone can be like just a decompression time.
Absolutely.
Just like as long as you're like Max, you're still out there.
That's
You're
true.
not just internalizing only.
I see a lot of people with their kids. They have like the iPads. If they have like 4 or 5 kids,
go-to, man.
But if they have a couple kids, and they try to get something done real quick, I see that.
You do what you got to do.
This guy's got something to say.
I'm not gonna.
Also, thanks to Carah, because she could have babysitted me and we could have done video games or anything, but we did origami.
Wait, do you remember?
Get in there. We were doing origami. What else were we doing? We were doing.
Do you remember when we raced down the street and I ate shit?
Yes, I'll never forget. I remember seeing, I can visualize it in my mind. It was the crack over by Miss Beebe's, our beloved neighbor, and there was a little crack there. They actually fixed it.
And Toby's
like, fell so hard.
Bro, are you okay? I'm bleeding everywhere.
Wow.
It was
I'm
so
bleeding
gnarly.
from everywhere. I still have like part of my tattoo rubbed off here from
it was so gnarly.
And I think I just literally grabbed my keys and I was like, I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
And I was in shock, and I went home. I literally was shocked, and I just went home and I went in the shower because there was like gravel in my wound.
I was like crying. I was like, oh my God, is she okay? I remember.
But I was going hard. I was gonna win. I was like, that was my mentality. And then afterwards, I'm like, why? That was so unnecessary.
So Max, you guys do arts and crafts and cool things like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I wonder how old Max was back then.
6 or 7. Yeah, I would say 7.
It's crazy. 19 now, and he's just like an adult. It's just wild, man.
It's crazy.
But yeah, thank you. You like one of his favorite babysitters.
Dude,
The favorite babysitter.
Absolutely loved hanging out with Max.
Awesome.
It was a treasure for me.
Now you have your own kid. It's amazing.
I love her. I wish she was here. I wish she was here so bad.
It's a great name. Any more questions about love and life and families?
I think that's it for now.
And
yeah.
music.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Does he sing too?
Spencer?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Let's say do duet or something.
When I tell you this man can play drums, though.
I seen him. He's a beast. I seen him.
He's beast.
Yeah.
He's insane.
Okay, well.
All right.
I'm excited to see you guys perform together and all your new
yeah.
stuff. And I think Carah Faye's voice with Derek's voice on a duet would be pretty interesting.
I'm still working on
he's so
wanting
deep.
to do a ballad.
Separatory needs a ballad. You want to write a ballad?
Never had a ballad.
We're looking for people to write a ballad for
life.
Separatory. Never had a ballad.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love to. Not straight up. I like ballads are where, especially if it's like you want to go sad, you want heartbreak.
But when we were talking about like, I listen to sad music when I'm happy. It's always been that way. Like I'll put on like a Nick Cave album.
It's
like,
my
I
go-to.
love Nick Cave. It's my go-to too. He's a great writer, and it just makes me happy.
The Cure does too. Well, the Cure makes me sad.
Yeah.
Whether it's like because you identify
Simone's
with
voice,
it. Oh,
I mean voice.
Nina
I mean she's my
Simone.
top 5 vocalist, and it's just the tone. That's what I think I wanted to write down because you're talking to this guy about tones, and there was something that I got to re-listen to because
That's the only thing I'm really truly impressed by is the
Tone Loc? No, I'm just kidding.
Tone Loc.
Just kidding.
Is when someone can like truly emote through their voice as an instrument and the tone. It's like, and Nina.
Oh yeah.
It's just.
But I think that's your next
powerful.
ghostwriting. Well, not the whole world knows
Yes.
now, but write a ballad for Sepultura.
I'd love that.
Oh my God.
He's so sick.
I'd love
You
that.
think the fans would like it? A ballad?
I don't
Do you
care about that stuff
Okay.
so much. You know, like you're saying, you can get in your head way too much if you start thinking about.
You know, and the other
like,
thing
what
is
are
like
they gonna think?
Yeah.
you have
Which I
to
do
trust
think.
that if they've been around with you this
Right.
whole time, then they're where you're at too, and they'd appreciate it. And that's what Shine Toy Guns, when I was saying, like, if we should have moved forward, because our fans moved forward.
Yes.
They were somewhere else.
Life changes.
And then if you want new fans, you also is another reason to move forward.
Absolutely.
Like, all the reasons.
I mean, when you're really young, I remember as a kid, I was like, no, you got to stay the path. And I would get mad when bands change. But then as I got older, I really enjoyed the fact that they were changing, evolving, and it was more interesting to listen. And
I agree, man.
It's so important as an artist to evolve and not to. It's impossible to to get everyone's appreciation. That's out there. It's impossible. And I didn't get into underground or heavy music because of that. Yeah. And I have to remember that. I'm like, I got into this. It was almost very selfish. Like to do music to push. What's coming as far as like feelings. Yeah. Out and put them out there and not be afraid to do that. And that's what so important. I love. I remember the time with Metallica, they put out these people are like, what the?
I like the Black Album. I like
people
it, man.
were just
absolutely.
Although the song,
they freaked out.
They freaked.
Yeah, the ballad one, right? That was the first one.
The one ballad.
I love that song.
First of all, it's a video on MTV.
Great video.
And they sold out and blah blah blah. And it was just like, this ballad is
amazing song too.
Amazing song. Amazing.
Also, 7 Seconds. This record, new one. People hated it.
They were hating.
I fucking loved it when
100%.
they started doing more melodic.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good example because I was like. Started listening more and more, and I was like, wow, I really like where this is at.
And they cut so much shit back then, dude.
They did.
And they were singing about such amazing things that nobody's
that's
singing
unfortunate that there's so many artists
you
that
have
get
to be
shit for
where
changing.
you want to be, whether you think your fans are ready for it or not.
Yeah.
Because I bet you even those ones that griped at the time caught up.
Oh,
totally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely guilty of that where I'm like, I'm an idiot. I slept on certain albums.
Just like the punk rock blinders.
Same thing.
Just the hardcore blinders, like nothing else. Yeah.
And it's always a battle to fight that off. It's like, it's always been like, I don't
when you get older, you appreciate shit way more.
I would think
like, I didn't give a shit about Nirvana back then. I was like, what is this shit? Then later on, I'm like, wow, these guys are amazing.
Amazing.
I was too punk for it. Like, what is this?
Right.
Hippie grunge shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Then it's like, wow, this is incredible music.
That can, I mean, those
Smashing Pumpkins too, all those bands.
But a lot of the bands that I love or the people that I really admire growing up, they were the ones that actually didn't have those blinders. They were always like, oh, I love this and I love it. Like, and yeah.
That's one of the reasons. Like what I do is like you kind of hope that you eventually get to pop because pop wants you to reinvent yourself. Rock and alt does not. They don't want Mumford & Sons to put out a Foo Fighters album. You know what I mean? Even if they love Foo Fighters, like
true.
That's just like they want Mumford & Sons to sound like Mumford & Sons
forever.
And like I want to reinvent every time I put music out as like. But this is where I'm at now because like I love to experience life, and when you love to experience life, you love to travel. You're growing as a human. Like as soon as you think you're where you need to be, you stop growing.
I agree.
As soon as you think you know what you want to know, you stop growing.
I love that you did that throughout your journey, just reinventing yourself. I think it's amazing, man. I love that.
It's fun.
Yeah. I love that. Bands try to do it, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it don't, and then go back to the same formula.
Yeah, but that's a part of it. It's like you start to get educated of what really a better feeling of your personality and being able to put that into your music. There are those ups and downs that happen in most artists' career.
Yeah, exactly.
And even to push yourself, like you say you want to do a ballad after like 25 years.
I love that.
Like, it's not silly. I'm like, no. I mean, there were times like we had a song and it was like singing really soft in the very beginning. Like, we're going to put this at the beginning of the album. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was a little bit like, kind of like, are they going to accept this? I was like, I don't know, but let's do it, and ended up being like, wow, like a completely opposite of what I was imagining. Love that. Yeah, me too.
Is this like a White Snake kind of ballad you want to do? Like, is this love that I'm feeling, or is it like?
No, I mean, I love that, but I don't know. It's just something that just feels
something
right.
slow and like singing and not yelling and
definitely not yelling. And I don't want to kill my like. It was so funny that you said like, why did I do like wailing?
Oh, why did I do this to myself? I'm at the top
out
of
of breath
range.
the first second song.
You got to perform this live every night.
And then like for me, like I'd always write these like crazy bridges, like trying to be the bridge queen or something like that. Like, here we go. You ready for my bridge? Like I'm gonna go up there, I'm even higher. Like that's what for like so many songs. Like that was what I did. And then we played a couple shows, and I was like, okay, it's time to write. What's cool about Shine Toy Guns, La Disco, the song that kind of went, that's easy for me to sing.
Yeah.
So like we did those on like the late night shows, and like I don't even know if I did them well, but at least it wasn't like crazy, you know, like that's, I appreciated that. And I feel like Hallelujah I can just smash, you know, because it's just, it's kind of a low vibe, you know, for most of it. So I'm excited to show that it's not, because I guess I believe the lie that my gold notes were always, you know, the high ones, but like, no, I can keep your attention down there too. You know, like that's
yeah.
Is there a video coming for it too? Is that already done? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it'll be out next week.
Awesome.
Videos look good.
Yeah, your videos are crushing.
Thank you. I did it with the same people who did the whole world video. So
videos are still important. Minus MTV doesn't play them. YouTube's crushing.
Yeah, the visuals are so. We for the whole world was super like flashy and colorful. So we did the Hallelujah video in a massive parking deck, and it's just kind of like less color, more muted grays, and just kind of dirty and vibey.
Awesome.
It looks cool. What I saw.
All right, Carah Faye. Do you direct the videos too?
I don't direct them. No, we've there's a production company called Right Media, and from that is Nick Tabbets and Caitlin Burns, and they've been directing. I've done 3. This will be my 3rd video with them.
Okay, awesome.
And it was one of those like random like, hey, you know, if you need someone to do a video, I got connected to them, and they just happened to be like, I couldn't, like, they've become such dear friends of ours now.
That's awesome. I love how that shit works.
It's always like that.
That's how I have with Greg Flack over here. Like I did a post, hey, I'm looking for an electrician or a handyman because I am not a handyman. And Andrew Strife connected me with this gentleman right here. And now I love this dude. He's my man. And he's helping.
Shout out Andrew.
He's
selling those houses.
He's fucking killing my house right now. So.
Yeah, Greg.
Greg Flack, winter electrician. What's it called? Winter what? Winter Electric. Look him up, man. If you need some.
It's got a dope logo too.
Yeah, if you need some nice straight edge handyman. Handsome straight edge handyman who can skate really well too. Is that a good shout out? Okay, Max. Any more questions for her? We're signing off. Finally, anything else you want to say? Okay, love you, Max.
Love you.
Carah Faye, love you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Love you guys.
This was awesome. Any more questions?
No.
Okay, I'm logging off, Derek.
Yes.
Okay, bye. Great. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to this podcast, please do that. And whatever platform you are listening to this on, I'm glad you found me. You can rate me and review me on there also. So thank you guys sincerely for the support. I cannot wait for you guys to hear the next one.